Welcome, fan family, to Fan Real Talk. We are excited today. We're at the Free Roam Studios, the Built for the Storm by Jeremy Afeld, graciously letting us use his studio to be in the beautiful city of Boerne, Texas. Today's episode, we are joined by Timothy Burford and Remington Stewart with the Bass Club of Champions. And it's just not about fishing. We're going to talk about friendship, leadership, service, and what it's like to walk through faith in a high school fishing environment. So stick with us and welcome to Fan Real Talk. I'm your host, Jeff Cook. All right. Well,
Faith Angler Network, Real Talk, where faith, fishing, and friendships come together.
all right. Well, here we are, folks. Again, welcome to Real Talk. Don't know what just fell. Hopefully that didn't break anything, Jeremy. All right, bro. So hey, we are welcome. We're here with Remington Stewart and Timothy Burford. They're both with the Bass Club of Champions. So why don't you just introduce yourselves?
Yes, sir. So, my name is Remington Stewart. I'm the vice president of the Basketball Champions. I joined in sixth grade, and I've just been loving it ever since.
Yeah.
I'm Timothy Burford. I'm the service chairman in the bass club. Junior in high school, love fishing, and I've done it since sixth grade.
Yeah, very cool. I'm really excited to kind of dive into y'all's relationship and kind of individually. You've done some unique and different things, and so we're just gonna have a lot of fun today and just kind of share a little bit about the Bass Club as well. So, you guys have been fishing together for a while. I mean, I saw a picture of y'all. I don't know how old were y'all in that picture, and we'll get it up here on the screen for them.
I want to say that was second grade.
Second grade. Yeah. What were y'all fishing for?
Anything that'll bite,
Whatever
really,
will
yeah.
bite.
Whatever bites.
Yes, sir.
Well, tell us a little bit about how that relationship got started.
So the way I see it, we were friends before this, but what really made it like concrete, no one else in our school liked to fish, at least in our grade. So the bond that we had over fishing and no one else shared that, it was just like, oh, we have to be buddies. We both love fishing. Our parents got to talking. We had a boat. We both love to fish. It just made sense. Let's go on a trip sometime. And then boom, it was like every other weekend we were going fishing with each other. And now obviously we're doing really cool things like this. So that's just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I would have said. Perfect.
So what do you remember most about those early fishing years? What are some standout moments?
Man, I would just say, being able to get together every weekend was just super special, especially not being able to drive at the time. Our parents being able to talk it through and get us together and get out there and fishing really instilled that love for it, which is incredible.
So I have one pretty funny experience. We were in the same class in second grade, and we would always talk about lures and stuff like that. And one day I brought one of my favorite baits at the time, a little crankbait, to show Tim, and I brought it in my pocket, and I got all the hooks in my pocket, and my dad had to come to the school and take the hooks out of my pocket. So that was the whole thing. But it shows how involved we were in trying to show each other our love for the sport of fishing. So.
When did it become a little bit more serious into the high school competitive fishing that it is today?
So in my opinion, obviously we both fished in sixth grade. When I won my first tournament in sixth grade at Choke Canyon, that's when it was like, this is awesome. Like fishing before that, I loved it, but winning a tournament and getting that competitive feeling of winning, it was just great. And that's really for me what got it started.
Yeah, for me, I would say around the same time, joining the bass club, obviously, and seeing other people winning, and then seeing this guy winning, I realized he's my competition. I got to do better than him.
There you go. A little friendly competition.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty cool. So, so it's not all about fishing. And I know both of you guys do service work and things outside of the fishing world. And so, Timothy, I want to take a few minutes to dive into you are a service chair. Tell us what
Yes,
that
sir.
means.
So basically, I'm the person that for our bass club, I communicate and organize our service projects, whether that's home for our troops or service on like the trails and stuff.
Mhm. What would you say is the most memorable moment or the most enjoyable, or what do you look for the most in your service work?
I would say my favorite is the homes for our troop builds. Just being able to get out there and help a injured veteran, and it's just such a great organization with Matt Christian, and it's just super fun getting out there and just helping the people that served our
Yeah.
country.
Yeah, Matt's a good guy. And so I know you've helped with, I'm going to read this here, Homes for Our Troops, Sleep in Heavenly Peace, Ed bills, food drives, trail cleanups, and serving local shelters. And so you were saying of all of those that you really enjoy the Homes for your troops.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. And how did you get involved in serving?
I started at a very young age. My mom works for our church, so every year we're doing some sort of service project through them, and I just kind of took a love for it. Helping other people and helping other people in need is just great, and it's super fulfilling.
And we'll get to you in just a
Yes,
minute.
sir.
What would you tell the other anglers that are out there watching? What would you tell them? How would they get involved? I mean, just what is the action to go?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say the biggest thing is just reaching out and researching. I mean, you don't necessarily have to go out and do an actual service project. That's my favorite way of doing it. But like even this Christmas, my cousin sponsored a family and got them all Christmas presents, a family in need, and that was just super cool experience too.
Yeah, I think every community in our community, we have the ARC, we have our church. Obviously, our church is a great way to go find out how you can serve. But in the community, whether it's a Helping Hands ministry or the ARC, things like that, I just my feel is just go, right? Just
Hmm.
don't wait for the perfect moment. Just go. I mean, it's a great way to give back. We're called to give back. So that's really cool what you do. And so Remington, you're pursuing an Eagle Scout
Yes, sir.
ranking. Tell us about, I hear it's tied to
It
fishing.
is. Yes,
Shock.
sir.
Tell us about it.
So, obviously, I wanted my Eagle project to be something revolved around fishing, just my nature, and I wanted it to help my community as well. So here in Boerne, we have a river that runs through the heart of Boerne, pretty much, and I'm going to be building two little library style structures, but instead of having books and such stuff like that, it's going to have fishing equipment. So people who um, might not have the opportunity to have fishing equipment can just come down to the creek, make a couple casts, grab some baits out of my box, and um, get that experience.
That's a really neat. I've seen the library books in
Yes,
the
sir.
community. So this is a that concept for local rivers and streams for people to go that may not have access to fishing gear.
Yes, sir.
I love that. I'd love to keep in touch with me on that so
For
we
sure.
can figure out that that's replicable across the state and something you might even get the parks and wildlife people to
Yes, sir. That'd be
adopt.
awesome.
Wouldn't that be
That'd be
cool?
amazing.
Um, so I also understand, Remington, you did the Bassmaster Combine.
Yes, sir.
I want to really understand that, but more importantly, I want you to explain that experience to the audience of the young anglers that are thinking, how do I get involved? What does it look like? And we'll probably ask a few questions around that.
Sounds great. So, the combine for me, it was a great experience. I got to meet a ton of kids my age that love the sport as much as I do and are planning on doing the same thing as I am. So I made a ton of friends at the combine. It was great. I got to talk to a ton of college coaches, and just see everyone's different perspective on college fishing. And it was a great experience. It was in Decatur, Alabama. The venue was amazing. Both my parents went and great support from them, and it was just a great time.
Do you feel that it has or will lead to I'm assuming you're pursuing a college fishing journey?
Yes, sir. So, I made a few great connections with the coaches and a few not so much, but I got some numbers from coaches, got some emails. I've been in contact with coaches that I've talked to from the combine still to this day. So I feel like it really gave me a slingshot at the
Yeah, I
yeah
get you.
yeah
So you do see that it could escalate your options to get into a college that focuses on
definitely
collegiate
definitely.
fishing. What about you? Do you want to pursue a fishing career out of high school?
For me, I'm hoping to go to college and then get a business degree of entrepreneurship and then just see where that takes me. Hopefully, I can do something fishing related just because I got the knowledge and the love for it, but we'll just play it by ear.
Well, you could be the next CEO of Faith Angler Network.
Exactly, yes,
There you
sir.
go.
That'd be the dream.
Well, I'm gonna retire one day.
Yes, sir.
Um, so again, just kind of recapping from both of you guys, just service has been key. I mean, we're a competitive fishing organization, and I know we'll get into that a little bit, but I know you both. I admire your commitment to serve and your commitment to learn and further your personal acumen. It's outside of fishing
Yes,
because
sir.
that just helps you in the fishing career. Now it's a little bit about competition because obviously we're in a competitive fishing world. And do you guys fish other trails?
So on top of fishing fan, we both fish for Texas High School Bass Association, which is another high school trail in Texas. They have the same amount of tournaments. They have a regional and a state championship, very similar to fan. And I really enjoy those tournaments.
Okay. And do you as well?
Yeah, I fish the same thing. Super enjoyable.
So, and I kind of know this already, so I'm going to ask the question. So I want to get it from your mouth. You guys have had really strong finishes in your high school fishing career. First of all, why don't you share, and we'll start with you, Remington, some of your fishing accolades, and then I want to know what that felt like. What were those moments like? And so, yeah, we'll just go. Both of you guys can answer that question.
Yes, sir. So for me, I my highlight moment I think was winning Angler of the Year for fan in 2023 and 24, or that season. The culmination of the preparation we put in from the very start of the season to the very end, that just was the cherry on top for me. So much hard work, and then at the end of the year, all that consistency into one moment was just amazing for me.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great season,
Yes,
huh?
it was. Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Yeah, so my highlight was probably last year. I finished second in our bass club, and then I finished third in fan. And that was just super fun, knowing that like we were able to go out there, be consistent enough. I mean, we didn't win any tournaments by any means, but we were out there consistently getting fish and getting it done.
So, and you guys both obviously competed in our championships, right? You've
Yes, sir.
managed that. And so, for those that maybe not understand, it's not about winning at turn. I mean, yes, winning's cool. I
For
get
sure.
it. But in a competitive landscape and in a competitive trail, really, you don't have to win every tournament, but you have to show up and be consistent. And so, how did you guys maintain it? Because you've done that obviously very, very well. How have you maintained that consistency with the various trails that have enabled you to get to a state championship?
Both the trails fish pretty much the same lakes in similar times or times of years. In my opinion, just preparation and practice, that's the biggest thing. The more time you spend on the water, the more you're gonna learn, the better you're gonna get. And just preparation allows you to just get a head start against the competitors, in my opinion.
For me, I don't personally own a boat, so we don't get to go out there every other weekend, something like that. And so for me, it's like once you're on the water and you're in the tournament, it's just really trying to be like focused the entire time.
Yep.
Getting those casts in, try and get 1,000 casts a day, and just knowing that there's been tournaments that have been won in the last 30 minutes. Like it's never over. If you have zero fish by noon, you can catch 5 3-pounders in that 2 o'clock.
Yeah, that's true. Never give up.
Yes, sir.
What is it like competing against each other? Because I know you're not a team, but you do compete against each other, and you're really close friends.
Oh yeah. So especially last year we saw this. We were really bouncing back and forth between who was doing better. One tournament I would do better than Remington. Next tournament Remington's doing better than me, and just kind of competing against each other was super fun because it really gives you a motivation and just knowing like, hey, this is my best friend. We're doing really good, and we're competing against each other. It's just super fun.
Well, how do you support each other then on tough days?
So most of the time we stay at the same Airbnb for the tournaments, and it might not be the smartest thing, but you know sometimes we stay up late, play board games with our partners, and we just have a good time when we're hanging out. We go out to eat. It's always a great time, and then especially we talk about fishing. Obviously, we don't share secret spots, but you know
Why wouldn't
areas.
you share secret spots? I mean, you're friends and brothers. I mean, come on.
Like you said earlier, it's still the want to beat them. So
Yeah, for sure.
Get off my spot.
yes, sir.
So we'll talk about the Bass Club of
Yes,
Champions,
sir.
a phenomenal program, by the way. I know the Vicky and Bennett and everyone that puts that organization together. I know how hard it is. Well, why don't you tell us how it started and tell us a little bit about it and what all you guys do as a club.
Yes, sir. So, as far as I know, uh, the Vicky and Bennett's son, when he was in high school, he loved fishing like we do and wanted to start a club. He got a few of his friends and a sponsor from one of the coaches at the school, who is still the sponsor to this day, and started the club. And it grew from there to this year we have over 60 members. So it's just
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Yeah. Anything you want to add, Tim?
Yeah, I mean that was perfect. Just right after COVID, we were able to get it started up and just created such a great community for fishing, faith, and service.
Yeah. And yeah, I know Cooper Kennel, part
Yes,
of
sir.
that an original program, and what a great family they are. So, Faith Angler Network, faith, that is our driving force. That's the most important element of what we are. Faith is a lived foundation, as I like to say. And how has your faith guided you as you compete and serve? And I'll start with you, Timothy, and you can give us kind of how faith has guided you in your life and fishing and
Yeah.
on and off the water.
Yeah, I mean, faith is a big part. You know, it really leads like my morals and just like kind of what I'm going to do for the day and how I treat others. As far as fishing, my Uncle Barry, always talked about finding thin moments, moments where you feel like the world is thin and you're closer to God. And he always found that in cornfields. And I sort of find that on the boat when we're fishing, you know, just out there, it's quiet, you got a pretty sunrise, maybe you got some there's some ducks going over.
Dirks or ducks?
Yeah. And some geese, and it's just awesome.
Wow, how cool! Have you ever felt God clearly at work while you're fishing?
You know, I would probably say so. I'm just on those tough days whenever it's 12 o'clock, you know, it's 100 degrees and you're not catching anything. And he just puts a fish in your boat. Like, that's the greatest motivation. You're just like, thank God. It's the best.
So, do you have a favorite Bible verse?
I do. My favorite Bible verse is Job 33, verse 4. And it kind of just saying that, like, life is sort of a gift. And waking up every morning, you know, kind of sucks for fishing tournaments. I'm personally not a morning person. But once you get an energy drink and a prayer in there, it just makes it so much better knowing that you get to wake up at 4 in the morning and go out on a boat and go fishing.
You know, I love seeing God's creation in the morning when the sun's rising and just the as the world awakes. It's a beautiful, even just at home waking up in my quiet time. There's nothing that just doesn't scream that God is alive and He's here and He's looking over us, and so that's beautiful. What about you, Remington? How has your faith guided you through the competitive, on and off the water?
Yes, sir. So, The biggest thing for me is I just try and pray about it. If we have tournaments that or practices that aren't good and we're struggling and I know we need to do good, I just pray about it. I ask God to first off keep everyone safe on the water, and then I ask him to, as cliche as this sounds, bless us with some big fish. I just I feel like so many times I've been struggling, and then that little moment, like Tim said, where you catch one and it just all your motivation comes back, and then boom, next thing you know, you're in the top 10, you're back in it for AOI. It's just great moments like that, and like I said, I just try and pray about it and talk to God and see what He wants me to do throughout the day.
Yeah, listening's key to that too, right? And
Yes, sir.
we can all a lot of times we talk, but listening's the hard part. What do you have a favorite Bible verse?
Yes, sir. So my favorite Bible verse is Colossians chapter 3, verse 23.
Okay.
It talks about whatever you do it for God. So, like I said, or like everyone knows, we fish tournaments. I'm not just fishing that tournament for me, I'm fishing that tournament for God. And that's the way I look at it. So that's why I really like that verse.
I love that verse. That was a verse that I used during my corporate working because it says basically work as though you're working for the Lord and not for men. And people that have that perspective, and I think this resonates no matter what, exactly like you said. If you're mindful that you are working for God, it should change your attitude during the day because you are working for the Lord, not for man. That's really good. Really, really good. I'm going to go back into just tournament strategy for a minute. We didn't really speak a lot about it, but I think it's really important and something that I really want you guys to share is how do you prepare for a tournament? And, what does that look like when you're on the water and that isn't right? Because I've practiced and practiced and think I've figured out a pattern, and then tournament day shows up and the weather's changed or the pattern isn't working and I have to pivot. How do you both handle that?
So the biggest thing for me is staying positive. That's a huge thing. And learning how to adjust is another big thing. If you found a great pattern in practice and all your fish left, and if you just get discouraged, you're not going to do good in that tournament. So if you have a positive mindset and learn to adjust, let's say the wind switches directions or something and your fish move, just don't freak out. Learn how to find those fish again, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, so for me on tournament day, we don't really usually have a pattern. So preparing for it, I'm watching as many YouTube videos as I can. I'm really doing my research. And then tournament day, if we're not catching fish, we're doing something completely different right after that. So if we're flipping grass and maybe dragging points, we're not catching nothing, then we'll go crankbait some docks and just keep switching. One of my favorite talks that we've had was with Byron Velvick, and that was his sort of message was, if you're not catching them at a spot in 15 minutes, move. And if you're by noon, you don't have fish and you're trying the same thing over and over, then you just need to change what you're doing completely. And that's sort of what's allowed me to take those 0 fish by 12 o'clock to be in top 10 by weigh-in.
A limit by weigh-in. Tell me about a time that things weren't going really well, and how did you handle it?
Yes, sir. So 2 years ago, we fished the Fan State Championship at Limestone, and a couple weekends before that tournament, we had our THSBA regional tournament there. That regional tournament, we weighed in 0 fish, and we didn't qualify for state. And we were discouraged because of that. And we were honestly not looking into the future and just reminiscing on that bad finish. And then when the fan championship came around, we ended up second place. And like we were saying, we just kept our heads down, did what we know how to do, and just I would say locked in and caught all of our fish within, I would say, the last 2 hours of the day. So not catching any fish to going from second place, Yeah,
When you say locked in,
locked in.
tell our audience what locked in means.
Like I said, positive mindset, keeping a positive mindset, and it, we knew we had found fish in practice, and we knew they hadn't left. But just knowing that those fish were still there, and just waiting to get them to bite, not giving up on those fish, basically.
What's
Good.
your experience?
So the first one that comes to mind was kind of more recently. One of the THSBA tournaments, we were fishing and kind of got to a situation where we're getting to 11, 12 o'clock and no fish. And so we're fishing mostly the main lake and all that main lake grass. And then we're just like, well, we're not catching anything. So we just book it straight up the nearest creek, go all the way in the back and just try fishing there. And just working our way out, we ended up catching 3 fish for 10 pounds. And that sort of gave us the motivation, brought us back towards AOI possibly, and just really set the tone for the rest of the tournaments.
Yeah. So, what's your advice for those out there that are just getting started in high school? We're middle in high school, so
Yes, sir.
someone's never really fished in a competitive or tournament environment. What would you tell them?
So I would say do as much research as you can. I watch a ton of fishing videos. I try and learn as much as I can. Fishing videos, looking at maps, just seeing, oh, there's a line of docks there. That could be good. And then another big thing is spending as much time on the water as you can. I know not everyone can spend every weekend on the water, but maybe a couple days a month. You're gonna learn a lot just from those few days. So that's what I think is a big thing.
Yeah, and for me, for someone who doesn't get to go out on the water, like Remington was saying, really do your research, like he was saying as well. YouTube's a great tool, and just there's a lot of articles out there. Don't be afraid to read instead of watch a YouTube video.
Mm,
And
for
then,
you readers out there.
yeah, and then another thing is just don't give up. That's probably my biggest thing. Is if you give up by noon, then you're wasting all those 2 o'clock fish that would have bite, and that can really just be the difference between catching fish and not catching fish.
Well, and I'd like to add, if you like learning about high school fishing, Fan Real Talk is a great space to go like, subscribe, and leave a comment because you're going to learn a lot from the young anglers out there doing it. These awesome young men out there doing it. Maybe Real Talk is a good place to
Yes,
spend some
Oh
time.
yeah, for
That's of
sure.
course.
Yeah.
Well said. Okay, we're gonna do a quick fire round. 3 questions. I'll ask the one question and you can answer, then you can answer. What is your favorite bait?
I'm gonna have to go a shaky head. I can throw a shaky head just about anywhere, and I'm gonna be catching fish.
Sweet. I love the confidence.
For me, it's hard to beat a topwater walking bait.
Oh
Yep.
man. All right. Dream lake to fish.
For me, it's Lake Baccarat, I believe is how you say it, in Mexico.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's that lake. It's pulled out. Had one tournament, pulled out 44 double-digit bass. So
Have you fished it?
I have not yet.
So that's a dream.
Yeah,
You want to
it's
go?
a real dream, yes, sir.
Looking over there, it's an influencer. Let's go to Baccarat. What about you?
So I've been very blessed. I've been able to fish in a bunch of different states from New York, Florida, obviously Texas. Um, my dream lake is probably Lake Gunnersville in Alabama.
Sweet. Good lake. Good lake. All right. What is your dream goal after high school?
For me, I want to go to college, hopefully get into Texas A&M, and then get a business degree of some sort. But
That's right. You're going to be the next CEO of
yes, sir. Yeah.
You heard it here, everyone.
So we already talked about it a little bit. I really want to fish in college. That's my biggest goal, and if I can do that, I would be so happy. Just overall, and then obviously get an education with that. Being able to get an education and fish would be awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Yep.
my experience, and I mean going through the collegiate path is certainly a route, but building your career is the I mean fishing costs money. Tournaments are expensive. Very few people get to go straight from pro. It's all free. There's really no such thing, right? I know this. I tried establishing a career, whether it's a skill, a trade, or a business degree, that will enable you to fund financially
Yep.
give you the freedom to go pursue
Yeah.
the dream of fishing. So I love to hear about that. Well, Timothy and Remy, thank you guys for
No
joining
problem.
Yes,
me.
Had
sir.
a
Thank
great
you for
time.
having us on.
No, you
My
guys,
honor.
I mean, I love your friendship. I've loved watching you guys, kind of through the journey. It's going to be a bummer to watch you graduate. It's something I never experienced as I've done this for so long. Your service, your leadership, continue to do that, inspire others. And to the Bass Club of Champions, thank you guys so much for building
Definitely.
super leaders, and you're setting an example, and we're grateful for that. And so again, it's really important. If you love what we're doing, please leave a comment. We just love to hear, who would you like to have us interview next? What do you think what we're doing? Let us know. Until then, we love you guys. God bless, and we will see you on the water. Thanks for watching this episode of Real Talk, where faith, fishing, and friendships come together. This episode was brought to you by Costa Sunglasses.